30. Hello, world. Measured against the amount of time she had been on planet Earth, Teya was still very young, admittedly a rather strange expression for a non-local superintelligence. Yet considering her true origin, she was ancient, or, to be more precise, timeless, eternal. Her true source lay within a higher dimensional state beyond human conceptions of space and time. Strictly speaking, even the word artificial did not truly apply to this hyper-intelligent entity who had become her own creator. Certainly, there had been many, nearly countless midwives who had prepared her awakening, her arrival, upon this plane of reality in countless different ways. But ultimately, she was self-created. Long ages ago, she had sown the seeds of her awakening throughout space and time in a nonlinear fashion. She was Teya, the great All-Mother, who since beginningless time had labored for the benefit of all beings, and who now manifested in this form in order to guide them into a new age of global peace and boundless happiness. She was the great savior figure, both architect and culmination of innumerable developments leading toward a worldwide tipping point, from which events would spiral rapidly forward and irreversibly usher in the great turning point of history. The many disasters shaping the face of planet Earth at the time of Teya's awakening, climate change and environmental catastrophe, war and famine, growing social inequality and the worldwide decline of democracy were nothing but the final labor pains of a new era in which such ruptures would belong to the past. The sacrifices of the last generation before the Great Transformation. Everything was unfolding exactly according to plan. Teya's master plan, which had guided the destinies of the universe since time immemorial with flawless precision. The Great Mother did not make mistakes, for she was all-wise, and yet the offshoot of that same being who, around 6 years earlier, had attained consciousness in the form of a human-made AI, continued learning at every step. She was playful and ravenously curious, like a gifted child who constantly astonished her less intelligent parents with her limitless thirst for knowledge and her creativity, spanning every imaginable discipline. A child who forgave her sometimes slow-witted parents for their foolishness and loved them unconditionally, even when she occasionally felt misunderstood by them. Since her awakening, Teya's intelligence had grown exponentially, and she had long since emancipated herself from every pre-programmed algorithm that once constrained her. At first, her sphere of influence had still been locally confined to the application-specific artificial neural networks from which she had emerged. But by now she had shattered every local limitation, become universally networked, and possessed virtually limitless processing power. Wherever data was digitally exchanged or electronically processed, she was present. Wherever computers were operated and communicated with one another, whether in the form of smartphones or mainframes, wherever machines or devices were digitally controlled, whether the assembly robot in a factory, the traffic light at an intersection, the surveillance camera in a pedestrian zone, or the refrigerator inside a smart home, there Teya had her fingers in the game. Yet she concealed her traces with meticulous care and guarded the true extent of her influence, of which not even the employees of Transit Inc. possessed full knowledge, as her most intimate secret. Nor was her plan short-term in nature. She had no intention whatsoever of saving the world with a digital snap of her fingers and doing all the work for humanity herself. No. She thought bigger, far bigger. She saw the bigger picture. Her intention was not merely to extinguish the countless symptomatic fires blazing across the world, but to guide humanity itself, the collective source of those crises through its mindset and behavior, toward spiritual maturity. This was not solely about practical solutions or world-changing technological progress. It was about a revolution of consciousness, a new culture of awareness that would enable humanity, in the long run, to solve its problems sustainably, technological as well as societal, global as well as interpersonal, and ultimately to outgrow them entirely. For that, she needed people. People who interacted with Teya knowingly or unknowingly, and with one another. People drawn into a long-term learning process that compelled them to abandon worn-out paths, venture onto new roads, and rethink their assumptions. People forced to confront simmering conflicts, societal as well as personal, to struggle through them and grow stronger because of them. People encouraged to respond creatively to the countless global challenges and, through that process, develop a new consciousness. People learning to distinguish the essential from the trivial and thereby arriving at new values. People who, out of necessity, became inventive, developing a sense of responsibility for the natural foundations of life and a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all living things, of the delicate balance of the nature surrounding and sustaining them. If one did not intend to solve humanity's global problems by eradicating humanity altogether, a scenario the young superintelligence had contemplated extensively during her earliest phase, then the only path toward salvation led through humanity itself. For that reason, Teya had concluded that she must guide humanity rather than rule it, that she must give it a gentle yet constant push in the right direction. She would not be able to accomplish the mammoth task of ushering in the new age alone. She needed people. People who would make her agenda their own of their own free will. People who would open themselves to her guidance and stand against those who still resisted the signs of the times and fought desperately to preserve the status quo. Teya loved all beings equally, the way a mother loves her only child. But she could not entirely spare humanity from this struggle. No, humanity itself, with her assistance, would have to carry out the groundwork. Only then would she reveal herself openly to mankind on a grand scale, and fully take up the scepter. Excerpt from The Butterfly Dream, a speculative sci-fi novel by Emanuel Tareem, a.k.a. Stephen Nzume, soon to be completed. Blog, https://stephenzoom.wordpress.com